Hello, and welcome to another bad movie review. This time we will be discussing the 1996 classic Polymorph from J.R. Bookwalter. Now, as I've pointed out in the past, generally I have a real bias against people that write, produce, and direct and edit their own work. But Bookwalter is a major exception to this. I tend to really like his films for no apparent reason. I have a real love of Tempe video overall, and that's going to make it sound a little biased. But I try and be a little even handed, but I got to admit, I really like this movie. It stars James Edwards, Tom Hoover, Ariauna Albright, Sasha Graham, Jennifer Huss, Michael Raso, and a couple other people. The runtime's about 86 minutes, as you could tell. But the premise of the film is pretty good. It involves an alien crash landing on Earth in some respect. The spaceship at the beginning, you don't see it ever again. It just kind of turns into a meteorite or something. It's kind of vague, but so people go to investigate, and scientists from Parker Tronics, okay, whatever that is. And they call in some interns to help them search for the crashed meteorite. Well, of course, things go completely horribly wrong. The interns show up, and so do some drug dealers. So it's drug dealers, space aliens, and interns. If that isn't a formula for success, I don't know what is. So, of course, all kinds of wackiness ensues. This polymorphous alien can assume the form or take over the bodies of the people that it comes in contact with and starts picking them off one by one. Now, that sounds like it might be a silly premise, but it's kind of awesome, actually. The movie itself is shot very well. It has transitions very similar to a comic book. So up in the corner, you'll see a caption box that gives some dialogue or sets the stage for what's going on. And that really gives it kind of that comic book feel that you would see in a 1990s comic book style movie, or even an 80s one like the remastered Warriors. And if you haven't seen the Warriors, you should. But yeah, the best parts of the film, the dialogue, hands down. Most of the script was very well written. Most of the actors were solid B-movie cast actors. Potential for some higher level work. You'll recognize some of them, such as Ariana Albright. She's been in a lot of other movies, like Platoon of the Dead, Destruction Kings, which is a Chris Severs movie, Caged Lesbos A Go-Go, and that title alone is just makes you want to watch it. And Emmanuel Through Time, Orgy of the Damned, stuff like that. So a couple of the other actresses have that same kind of resume. They're stock B-movie actresses, and that's fine. Some of the movies they're in are actually pretty good, and this is no exception. Most of the acting, like I said, is pretty good. I thought the script was really well written. Cinematography was pretty good. The budget on the film was only about $10,000 from what I could find, and it doesn't really show. It looked like it was a slightly higher budget film. I wouldn't have thought that it was such a low budget. Most of the action does take place in a cabin or out in the woods, so that does save a lot of money. But considering some of the resumes on a few of these actresses and actors, I was pretty impressed that they had the talent they did, and it was shot as well as it was. It looks like it was a digital film, but it didn't hurt it in this case, I don't think. I thought it looked pretty good. The special effects were okay. The beginning sequence with the spaceships was pretty dated even for 1996, but it's such a short sequence, it doesn't really hurt the film. And yeah, overall, I'd say this is definitely a quality film. It does have some drug use in it, so that might be a turnoff for some people, because the premise does kind of revolve around the stash of drugs, and that's what brings everybody kind of against each other in this one. So you have to be kind of alert for that. So it's probably not for the kids. Also, people use the guns to point around a lot, which is really a violation of most hunter safety courses. So I don't think it'll win any awards for proper use of firearms. People pointing with their guns, shooting sideways, waving them around, pointing them at each other. It's very reckless, in my opinion. And especially in a survival situation, you don't want to accidentally shoot one of your friends or allies. There was a cool effect with the polymorph creature itself. You see polymorph vision. It's really just kind of a black and white vision, but it has that same scurrying around that you see in like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. And the Dr. Octopus hospital scene in Spider-Man 2. It has a very Sam Raimi feel, and it really worked for this one. Which I don't say that a lot about people trying to rip off Sam Raimi, because, yeah, you have to really try hard to get the things right. And they obviously put the effort forth here, and it's not like that's a hard effect to pull off. No nudity in this one, which is real disappointing, because, you see a lot of people bouncing around, and you're kind of surprised that nobody got naked with a budget that small. But maybe they couldn't afford the boobs. I don't know. So overall, this one was definitely worth watching. I recommend picking it up on DVD to get the extras. There's a cool making of, a bloopers outtake reel, and the audio commentary. It was on VHS where I first saw it years ago, but I'd recommend getting the DVD just for the bonus features. You can stream it, obviously, but I don't think you're going to get the bonuses. So if you could track it down, I know Tempe Video re-released it in 2005 on DVD, and go check it out. I think tempevideo.com is still functional. I got my most recent copy, the remastered special edition, which was well worth it, by the way. I got mine on eBay, I think, and it was about $12. You could probably find it cheaper than that, and you could probably find it from Tempe Video for right around $12 or $15. So I recommend picking this one up. This was a fun, semi-action, sci-fi kind of movie. Not really, but it was good hunters in the woods kind of movie. People being hunted by alien monsters and having to work together. Yeah, overall, good film. The ending, really a downer. Really a downer. But it fit for the movie, which a lot of movies can't say. It didn't have a cheesy ending. It didn't cheap out on you. It actually had the ending that you think it logically would have. So if you get a chance, check this one out. I highly recommend it. Polymorph, another J.R. Bookwalter classic. Check out his other films too. Most of them are pretty good, and considering that they're shot low budget. And most of them, I believe, are filmed in Ohio. This one takes place in the woods in Ohio. So he's from the Akron area originally. So it's not a big surprise there. But check it out. And as usual, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know the drill. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you.
That thing is still out there.
We can handle that thing. We don't need any cops.
Besides, Donna, what the hell would you tell him anyway? This thing has all the believability of a Mentos commercial.